Hi, everybody. I'm just have a word to you out there about mental health and resilience. I'm not an expert by any manner or means, but I've lived long enough to learn a few, I suppose, things about our mental health and mental resilience. Now, what prompted this little podcast, this couple of minutes podcast, was an incident that happened to me personally yesterday morning, Monday, the 20th of March. Really, we have a podcast on a Sunday night. We have a podcast that discusses, it's very generic, the program. We discuss topics, a wide range of topics, funny, light, serious. But one of the issues that we spoke about on the podcast last Sunday night, by the way, you can find the podcast on our YouTube channel, learmedia.tv, and you can look it up there and you might find it interesting. The whole area of suicide and mental health and resilience came up for discussion by one of the panelists, and we had maybe a 10-15 minute discussion on it. And because of that discussion, an idea came up in the program, an actual idea from a friend of ours in Kilkenny who spoke about a first aid mental health course. I had never heard of this, and so I took note of it. And consequently, then yesterday morning, I decided to do some phoning around about the course and the availability and all of that. So anyway, my first port of call was the Health Service Executive, which incidentally has 167,000 employees. And I'll have a reason for mentioning that in a minute. Anyway, I phoned the Health Service Executive in Dublin. And I don't know, did you ever have the occasion to phone it yourself or any of you out there? But there are 5 steps you go through first, options you're given. And God Almighty, I'll tell you, you want to be very dexterous on your phone anyway, because you're using the same phone that you're speaking on, if you follow my drift to keypad. Anyway, after picking an option, which I thought was the correct one, I then was given a further 3 options. And of course, each option was called out as Gaeilge agus as Béarla. Anyway, I eventually spoke to a human voice, got speaking to a human voice. I gave her my query, my question, which was a short question. She could not answer it herself, which I didn't expect anyway. I don't expect anybody who picks up a phone to be able to answer every single question they're asked. But I'd expect them to put you right or put you in the way of somebody who may be able to help you. So she put me on hold. I was on hold for 10 minutes, 40 seconds. Then the call terminated itself. It says call terminated, cut off, zap, that was it. No, obviously, I must say, I was not, thankfully, in a state of mind that I was very, very upset. Thanks be to God for that, if I was. And expecting people to make phone calls when they're not feeling the best is another scale. Anyway, I phoned another number for the HSE in Dublin, a 1-800 number this time, but I got through again. After going through hoops again with the 5 options, as Gaeilge and Béarla, picking one, going through the other 3 options and picking one, I spoke to a person there again, and I explained to them what had happened to me. And I said, don't put me on hold until I'm finished speaking with you, if you don't mind. I spoke to her, gave her my story, gave her my question. She did say, I cannot answer your question, Pat. I will have to put you on hold. I said, fine, put me on hold. The call this time lasted 11 minutes, 40 seconds or something. And it was, lo and behold, you've guessed it, it was terminated. So there I am yesterday morning wondering, I said, no, I won't let this go. I'll follow this up. I got a phone number for the Health Service Executive Administrative Office in Ennis. I duly phoned that place. A nice girl answered the phone, chatted away. She was in Ennis, I'm in Shannon. Spoke to her, gave her my query. She never heard of what I was talking about, and that's fine enough. You may not know everything. We don't expect everybody to know everything. And she said, I'll give you the number of the building in the Gort Road in Ennis. Anybody who's familiar with Ennis and the psychiatric unit and all of that. I said, I don't really want to speak to anybody there because thankfully I feel good with myself, And she said, no, the administrative centre is there for any queries to do with mental health issues and queries and questions. I said, fine. She gave me a separate number for that place, and I thanked her. After my third phone call, it was running up to 50 minutes at this stage, my morning, and my tea's gone cold. But anyway, I phoned the number. Lo and behold, you've guessed it at this stage. Maybe you haven't. It went to an answering machine. I left a message with my name and my telephone number and my query, because it was a short one, on the answering machine that's dealing with mental health issues. You could not make this up. It was very disturbing to me, and I was thinking about it all day. Anyway, I left my message. This is Tuesday, the 21st of March at 2:30 in the day. I still haven't received a call back from that answering machine. Now, I'm not blaming any single person for this. And I'm beginning to understand the paucity and the triviality that people treat mental health issues in this country. It is absolutely shocking. Thankfully, I'm in reasonably good health. Thankfully, I am. I say that because I've spoken to many people, good friends in Limerick, who give me some horrific stories. And now I'm beginning to understand why they're so frustrated. 167,000 people working in the health service executive. I made 3 phone calls, 4 actually, and not one answer to my question. It was a simple question. Thankfully, I was not in trouble. And I say that with hand and heart. And really, with all that's going on around us recently, I am very disturbed. I am going to follow this up with some emails and stuff, and I will let you know what happens. I was encouraged to do this little podcast about my experience. And really, Brian, I want to mention his last name, Brian. You'll be looking at this data, Brian. I understand now fully 100%. I did understand where you're coming from. And really, it is simply not good enough. Pat Barry is my name. You can email me at info@learnmedia.com, or you can poddythebar@gmail.com. If you have any queries, if you want to come on the podcast anytime on a Sunday night to discuss any issues, feel free to do so. You're more than welcome. And hopefully I'll follow this up now, as I said, with some emails and some news as well. Some news, hopefully I'll get back and I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated anyway, Thanks for listening, and take care of yourself, and bye for now.